finally, one of the coolest and scariest pirates was revealed in chapter 1154. He might even be the lurking legend. If you don't want to be spoiled on this, then do not watch further. The chapter resumes after Loki's birth, but this is also during Big Mom's flashback. We know what happened here. She took out an elder. This is the oldest living giant. She wiped out half a village. She would later be known as Big Mom, one of the emperors. And shortly after that, Elbaf started to experience freak weather. Fires, violent winds, cold snaps, everything. All of this led to extreme famine. Of course, Loki's mom is still blaming it all on Loki. Here we see Loki barge into her room and it scares her. She's like, it looked at me. She basically screams at the guards to get Loki away from her, and Loki is distraught. He just wants to see his mom. But she really makes sure to focus on Loki's eyes. We see when some of the giants are starving, some of them resort to raiding human villages again. The giants started to fight each other and there was a lot of casualties. Of course, we see this one dude blame the curse on Loki. We see this giant finds Hyrudin and he says, "You're going to be the sacrifice for your brother." His mom's like, that doesn't make sense, but the giant immediately gets pissed at his mom because she's a foreigner to him. But then out of nowhere, we see this giant fist. It's Harold, and he's smacking this dude into the ground. We see Hyrudin and his mom are distraught. Harold is just trying to keep the peace. He explained that he learned of Loki's birth the very same day that the news broke of the famine, but he pleaded with the nations that they're allied with. Even though these are human nations, they've given the giants so much food to fill up their bellies. And they vow that they're going to do the same for the humans if they are put in that position as well. Then we see that the queen, Loki's mom, passed away right after Harold's return. Here we see Harold finally meet Loki. The guards explain that he was born with a condition that affects his eyes. He can see, just not very well. This is really interesting, but we can see that Harold actually cares for him, and Harold is confused why Loki is not showing any emotion. He just chalks it up to Loki losing his mother, but it's because Loki has given up on love. If this isn't a Straw Hat backstory, I don't know what is, man. We see that Harold mostly focused on his country of Elbaf and not his sons Loki and Hyrudin. Loki's mom's brother is taking charge of Loki. Hyrudin is with his mom in the realm of the dead. We can see that she is the owner of this bar. She tells Hyrudin that he has to go to training. Then we're shown 56 years ago. This is at Mountainbeard's house, and they're talking about this reverie incident. Harold explains that his friend, a king, smuggled him in, but he couldn't ask the questions that he wanted to without blowing his cover. He even says if a certain murder didn't take place, he might have been exposed. But the elder explains if he was caught, that would be the least of his worries. And they talk about this group of giant shipwrights called Galley Ra that were traveling far and wide and sent letters back to Elbaf. The final letters said they were captured, 100 giants. Some of them were ancient giants. They're clearly affiliated with Galley Law in some way. Harold asks if it was the world government who did this. The elder doesn't know. He says they probably did face a great enemy. He tells Harold there's probably a deeper reason why your ideals haven't worked out, and it has nothing to do with you. He goes on to talk about how there's a tale of these frozen giants. The leakers have already deduced that these giants are most likely the ones that were frozen at Punk Hazard. Harold is okay if the giants are the enemies of the world. He thinks he can overcome this hurdle. We see Loki's uncle is blaming his sister's death on Loki. We see he's continuing the tradition of just treating Loki very badly. 48 years before present day, Elbaf is prospering. Harold is doing another speech. He explains his dream is to have Elbaf become allies with the entire world. We see everyone's cheering Harold on. Some of the guards are taunting Hyrudin that he's an illegitimate child and Loki's the true heir. Then we see Loki come out with these monsters from the underworld, just unleashing chaos on this crowd. Hyrudin tries to protect this village, but Loki just mocks him. He thinks Harold is dumb for trying to play with those human insects. And Hyrudin's like, don't get cocky just because you're big. And Loki just thinks, I can be cocky, I'm the prince. You see Gerd and Goldberg rush to Hyrudin's aid, and Loki just laughs at all of them. He says, you're just a pathetic group of runs huddling together. He blames it on Hyrudin's filthy blood from his mom. The guards say, hey, you're going a little too far, and they almost call him a prince, but Loki does not like that. He immediately interrupts them. He tells them, don't call him a prince, and he attacks him. The narration box says, Loki spread pain and destruction, but nothing filled the hole in his heart. He even tried to jump into the underworld, but he can't even die, so he says. But behind Loki in the distance, we can see the top of a mountain just be sliced clean off. Someone says, what's the deal with this island? Where's the welcome committee? Some of the monsters of the underworld get aggravated. Loki notices these figures and they notice him. They're like, oh, it's a giant whelp. We found Elbaf. One of them's Shiki, the other is Whitebeard. Shiki is just laughing at how crazy Loki's face is. Whitebeard is confused at how big this kid is at his age, and he's also concerned for him that he's crying. This is it, guys. We finally get Rock's face revealed here. This is one of Oda's coolest designs I've ever laid my eyes on. Oda didn't stray too far from the silhouette, but it still is a huge reveal. I love that two-tone hair. It's so cold. Not only that, this dude is the father of Blackbeard, and you can clearly see it in his face. And yes, we've known this for ages, but it was only a theory. Now it's confirmed. I've even theorized this before. You can go look it up. But Rox has two questions for Loki. Is this Elbaf, and is Harold here? He's asking about Harold because he's already met him at the Reverie. 8 years ago there, he single-handedly killed a naval admiral and left without a single trace. And this feat obviously earned him a massive bounty. The first character to ever take out an admiral in the series. This is so hype. Finally, we can take this page seriously where it says he is Roger's strongest adversary. He clearly is. And this without a doubt upscales Bogard. They sent Garp's unit to take out the Rocks pirates and Roger's crew. They didn't send any admirals. Bogard is the only constant in this unit, meaning that he is sent to fight these pirates on a basis, right? Not to mention 56 years ago is when Garp joined the Navy. That's when the admiral was taken out. Maybe this is what caused a lot of Marines to start joining up. Maybe even Bogard as well.